Today's tutorial is sponsored by Rhandz Graphix. Hello guys, welcome back to my After Effects tutorial channel. This is Randy, and before jumping into After Effects, let me show you what we are gonna be making today. Now let's start by creating a new composition, and I will name it intro. 3840 by 2160, 30 frames per second and 7 seconds duration. Click OK. Again, I will create a new composition and I will name it title holder. 3840 by 2160, 30 frames per second and 7 seconds duration. Click OK. I will grab my text tool and I will type smear brush and ink spread wedding slideshow. Center it, and I'm using Mr. Sanford font, regular 200 pixels size, and the line spacing is 274. Then I will go back to intro, open it up, and drop down this title holder into the timeline. Go to your effects and preset and type evaporate. Then apply this effect to that layer. Highlight this layer and press U on your keyboard to see the keyframes. Then move your player to the last keyframe. Then exchange these keyframes. Then open the intro composition and drop down this title holder into the timeline. As you can see, it's already been animated. Then enable the 3D layer here. Press P on your keyboard for the position. I just want this Z position changed to 710. And then I will go and open my project assets, go to inks, go to ink spread, move this ink spread 1 into the timeline, and also this ink spread 4. Both of them I will highlight it, enable the 3D layers, then press P on my keyboard for the position. Then I will change the position on the ink spread 4 to 886. Ink spread 1, I will change the Z position to 1944. Drop down this color guide into the timeline. I will move it up on the left corner. Like that. Disable the visibility of my title holder. Highlight this ink spread 1. Press S on my keyboard for the scale. I will probably just make it bigger a bit. And also this ink spread 4. Press S on my keyboard for the scale and scale it up. Then press P on my keyboard for the position. Drag it on the right side. And again, I will press Shift S. Maybe scale it a bit down. Ink spread 1. I will press Shift P for the position. Move it up. So now what I will do here is to highlight this ink spread 4, go to effects and preset, go to channel and use this shift channel. Change the take alpha to luminance. Then go back to effects and preset, go to channel and choose this remove color matting. Then change the background color to white. Click OK. Go back again to effects and preset, go to generate fill. Take this color picker and choose this color. Then I will highlight this ink spread 1. Highlight all these effects by pressing shift and hold it. Go to edit, copy, and then highlight the M1 ink spread and paste it. It's time for us to take this color picker, pick this color, and then also highlight this ink spread 4. Take this color picker and choose this color. Scale the ink spread 1 a bit. And then move it up. Enable the visibility of my title. All I have to do now is To go to layer, create a new camera. I'm using a custom camera. Click OK. Go back to layer, create new null object. I want the null object, enable the 3D layer, then parent the camera to the null object. Expand this null object, create a keyframe on the orientation, go your playhead to about 5 seconds, and change the Z orientation to 10. Then create a keyframe on the position, move your playhead forward to about 15 frames, move this outside of the canvas, move it down a bit, then highlight all these keyframes, press F9 to easy it. Go to the graph editor, open it up, highlight this corner, grab the handles from right to left. Go to your project panel, open it up. I will drop this smear brush down into the timeline. I will right click my mouse, go to time. I will enable time remapping. Extend the layer up to here, and the keyframe I will move it to the 4-second duration. Enable the 3D layer, press P on your keyboard for the position, change the Z position to 293. Then I will move forward my play to about 15 frames. I will highlight this brush smear and go to effects and preset, go to transition. I will add linear white. First I will highlight again the brush smear and go to effects and preset, go to channel. I will add shift channel and I will change this to luminance. Then go back again to effects and preset, go to channel, add remove color matting and change the color matting to white. Drag this linear white down just below the remove color matting. I will create a keyframe on the transition completion, move my playhead to 5 seconds duration, change the transition completion here to 100%. Press on your keyboard S for the scale. I'll just change this scale up to 200%. I will highlight this brush smear, go to effects and preset, go to generate, add fill. Take this color picker and choose this color. Press P on your keyboard for the position. I'll just drag it down. Then I will highlight it and press my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it. Press P on my keyboard for the position. Drag this up. Go to layer, go to transform and flip horizontal. We will scrub our playhead. Let's see. Now as you can see that it's so sharp in here, all I have to do is to change the feather here to this much. I think that should be good enough. And also this brush mirror here below, I'll just change the feather here. So now I'll go to composition and create a new composition. I will name it main one. 3840 by 2160, 30 frames per second and 7 seconds duration. Click OK. Then I will go back to composition and create a new composition. I will name it Placeholder 1. .3840 by 2160, 30 frames per second and 7 seconds duration. The background is black. Click OK. Now go to your project panel, open it up. Open the image, drop this image one down into the timeline. Move your image to your desired position, okay? Then open the main and drop the placeholder down into the timeline. I will enable the 3D layer here. Press my keyboard Ctrl D twice to duplicate it. I will highlight all these placeholders and I will change the color coding here to cyan. Then press P on my keyboard for the position. I will change the Z position on the number 3 placeholder to 400. Placeholder 1 number 2, I will change this to 450. Then the placeholder 1 I will change this to 425. Then I will just scale this image up and this one too. I will open my ink spread. I will highlight this 678 and drop it down into the timeline. I will enable the 3D layer here and press P on my keyboard for the position. And first I will highlight this ink spread and go to effects and preset. Go to channel, shift channel change this alpha to luminance, and I will again go to effects and preset, go to channel, remove color matting. I'll change color background here to white. Press my keyboard shift and hold it, highlight all these effects, go to edit, copy, release the shift, highlight this ink spread number 7 and paste it. Highlight the ink spread 6, right click your mouse, transform, fit to comp. Highlight this ink spread 7, right click your mouse, go to transform, fit to comp. And also this number 8. Right click my mouse and go to time. I will enable the time remapping on the ink spread number 8 and extend this layer up to the end of my timeline. You have to adjust the scale and the position of this ink spread, okay? So I will highlight all this ink spread, press P on my keyboard and Shift S for the scale. Adjust the scale and the position of this ink spread. Good enough for me, so all I have to do is to drag this ink spread down just above the placeholder 1 number 6, highlight this ink spread 7, and I will drag it down just above the placeholder 1 number 4. Then I will toggle switches modes in here. I will change the placeholder 1 track matte to alpha matte. As you can see, I will drop down this smear brush into the timeline. I will just use this brush smear 3 and move my blade to about 25 frames. Press open bracket key to move that layer. I will right click my mouse, go to transform. I just want to choose this fit to comp. Then I will go to effects and preset, go to channel, shift channels. I will change this take alpha from luminance. Go back to effects and preset, go to channel and remove color matting. I'll change this background color to white. Then go to effects and preset, go to generate and add fill. I will go back to my project panel and I will temporarily drop this color guide into the timeline. Highlight this smear brush, go to my control panel and take this color picker. I will choose this color. Highlight this color guide and I will drag this into the upper left corner of my canvas. I will highlight this brush smear, press my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it, then move my playhead to about 1 second and 10 frames. Press open bracket key to move that layer. I will take the color picker here and choose this color. Highlight both of them and press P on my keyboard for the position. I will toggle switches modes in here, enable these 3D layers. Then I will highlight this brush smear on top, change the position here to 152. Scale, I will just scale it a bit. I will go to orientation and change this to 25 degrees on the Z orientation. Drag it a bit on the right side. I will highlight this brush smear 3, number 3. Make this brush smear a bit bigger, drag it down. And maybe I will just span and change the orientation here to 25 degrees. Drag this on the left side. Drag it up a bit. I will close it and let's see if we will preview this. I'm not using this color guide, so all I have to do is to delete it and go back to intro, open it up, delete this color guide. Open the main one, composition. Now I will go to composition and create a new composition and I will name it text element. I'm using 1600 and 600 pixels, 30 frames per second, 7 seconds duration, click OK. Then I will grab my text tool and I'm gonna be typing this text. this text and go to effects and preset. I will apply this evaporate into the layer. I will highlight it again and press U on my keyboard to see the keyframes and move my playhead to the last keyframe. I will exchange these keyframes like that. Open the main one, open the project panel, drop down this text element into the timeline. Enable the 3D layer here, press P on my keyboard for the position. Move this text into the right bottom corner of my canvas. Go to layer, create a new null object. I will enable the 3D layer here. I will highlight all these layers, parent this to the null object. I will expand the null object. I will expand transform. Make sure that the playhead is at the 15 frames. Create a keyframe on the position by hitting the stopwatch. Move your playhead at the beginning of your timeline and move this image outside of your canvas on the right side. Then move your playhead to about 5 seconds duration. Create a keyframe by hitting this tiny diamond icon and move your playhead to about 15 frames forward and move this image on the left side. Drag it down a bit. Move your playhead at the beginning and change the orientation to 10. I think that should be good enough. And I will just highlight this text element and move it up. Then I will highlight these keyframes. Press F9 to ease it. Open Graph Editor. I will highlight this handle and drag it on the left side. Also this one, I will highlight it and I will drag the handle to the left side. Let's preview this. There we go. So now I'm gonna go to composition. I will create a new composition. I will name it final. And I will change the width here to 3840 and height is 2160. 30 frames per second and the duration I will change this to 14 seconds. Click OK. Then I will create a new solid layer and I will name it background. Make it comp size, click OK. Then I will go to effects and preset, generate gradient ramp. I will open the project panel again. I will just drop down this color guide into the timeline. I will move it on the upper left corner of my canvas and I will go back to the effects control, highlight the background, change the ramp shape to radial ramp. Then take this color picker and choose this color. I will change the end color here to black. I will highlight this background, press my keyboard Ctrl D to duplicate it. Take this color picker and change this color to this color. Move the anchor point at the bottom from the top and the anchor point from the bottom, move it on top. Blending mode here to add. Then I will highlight both of these layers. Right click my mouse and pre-compose it. I will name it BG for background. Move all the attributes into the new composition, click OK. Open my project panel. I will drop down this intro into the timeline. And this main one, I will drop it down into the timeline. Move my playhead to about 5 seconds. Press open bracket key to move that main layer. Open these glares, drop this glare down into the timeline, pre-compose it, and I will name it glare. Move all the attributes into the new composition, click OK. Press T on your keyboard for opacity. I'll change the opacity to 50%. So I will just delete this color guide because I'm not using it anymore. Move my playhead at the beginning of my timeline and I will create a keyframe here by hitting this stopwatch on the opacity and change this amount to 0. Move my playhead to about 2 seconds. I'll change this to 50%. So now guys, I will go back to the intro. Just offset this brush smear, probably just 1 second to have a more interesting animation. Let's go back and open Final and let's see what happens if we will preview it. So now guys, we are done with our tutorial and I hope that you learned from it. And for those people who subscribe my channel, thank you very much. And for those who have not, it's time for you to subscribe and press like. Press also the notification bell so that you will be updated to all the videos that I'm gonna be uploading in the future, okay? And my thoughts for the day guys is that life in reality is very slow if you don't learn, okay? So keep on motivating yourself to learn, and when you learn, be sure to be humble, okay? See you next time. God bless.